Hi, welcome to Manifestation Train. This is your step-by-step guide for mastering the universal principles of co-creation. Manifestation Train explains how to direct your personal power through the universal principles that apply to thoughts and subconscious. By following step-by-step exercises to direct the brain and to train the subconscious, a person can make progress in creating the best life for themselves. Each chapter begins with basic principles about manifesting. The principles are followed with specific exercises to train yourself how to use the principles. A journal page follows each chapter for you to track your own progress. There's a separate and convenient Manifestation Train Workbook that will give you more room for writing your journal. Manifestation Train book and workbook are available for purchase through Amazon. The links are below in the comments. Exercises are meant to be repeated to become habit. Be sure to use the exercises for best results. We realize that you are in a hurry to manifest the best life for yourself. But if you take time to do each set of exercises for at least a week without rushing to the next section, you will have the most lasting results. Consider manifesting training as if it were physical training for a marathon. Could you train your body in one day to run a marathon? Of course not. You would need to dedicate yourself to months of physical endurance training to run a marathon. Manifesting is training of the brain, which translates into the subconscious and also takes repetition and persistence. It's worth the results, so please practice diligently. The origination of this manuscript is a fascinating story. I had long been interested in the concepts put forward by New Thought authors from the last century through present, but had never considered writing a book on the subject. Then one day I was at an antique show helping a friend of mine with his booth, and he handed me an old notebook he had bought at an auction, and he asked my opinion. When I started reading the manuscript, I was spellbound. The author, Fannie H. Hill, had written a New Thought manuscript in the 1880s, all in beautiful period cursive. Her ideas were unique. I had not seen the identical ideas in any of the New Thought books I had read, and I had read a great many. So I bought the manuscript for my friend, and since much of the language was outdated and the manuscript needed additional explanations, I started writing on the subject. My writing and the exercises that I added to the material, blended with Fannie's original material, created this unique project that now is Manifestation Train. Thank you, Fannie, for directing the manuscript to fall into my hands. There is no such thing as coincidence. After nearly 150 years, you are now published. Thank you. The idea that we can create our own reality is not new. In fact, it's probably a timeless spiritual concept that goes back thousands of years. I've read material on the Emerald Tablet, supposedly by Thoth, a very ancient philosopher or spiritual teacher. The idea that the world is mental, created by mind, goes clear back to his teachings, which is timeless. And the modern study of it goes back to the New Thought authors of the 19th and 20th century, such as Prentice Mulford in his book, Your Thought Forces and How to Use Them, and Mary Baker Eddy's Science and Health, 1875, which is the foundation of the Church of Christ Science, James Allen's book, As a Man Thinketh, 1903, Fannie James' book, Divine Science, 1905, Napoleon Hill, very famous book, Think and Grow Rich, from 1937, Ernest Holmes' The Science of Mind, 1922, that is the basis for the Centers for Spiritual Living across the world. You can download many of these books for free online. More recently, the New Thought movement is now under the umbrella of the general term metaphysical, which simply means beyond the physical. There's a multitude of work to help people understand how to direct their lives for the betterment of themselves and the world. Yet, in spite of the availability of the material, is still not widely accepted. This book, Manifestation Train, explains how to direct your personal power through the universal principles that apply to thoughts and subconscious. By following step-by-step exercises to direct the brain and train the subconscious, a person can make progress in creating what they want to achieve in their own life. Manifesting is a skill that can be learned. That is why we have exercises in this book and workbook. If you follow the exercises, it will greatly help your chances of achieving what you want to achieve as far as manifesting. Why is this book called Manifestation Train? The story goes back about 20 years to when I owned my first publishing company and I was writing and publishing books about homeschooling. It took a lot of work to write books and run a publishing company, but eventually my passion for what I was doing paid off. When authors came to me with their books, they almost always were expecting to become instantly famous and rich. So to explain what it was really like, I would explain to them that book publishing was like starting a big, long train. It takes a lot of energy to start a big train, but once it gets started, it will keep going. And that is what manifesting's like. It takes work to get going, but eventually keep on working for you. Manifesting's like that train. So we'll provide you with those tools, but it will take your effort to get things started. It'll take your effort to keep it going. We wish you the best in a productive, abundant life using the principles and exercises found in this simple book.